The capture of the Masisi territory by the M23 has triggered widespread condemnation and numerous statements from the international community calling for the movement's withdrawal. To gain deeper insights into the situation, RBA had an exclusive interview with the researcher Gatete Ruhumuriza, and he shared his point of view.
M23 is defined by the international community as a rebel movement, a militia, rebel movement, militia. The Congolese government actually defines it as a terrorist organization. When they capture a city, an important city in DRC, or even an important town, let's not call them cities, but they're important towns.
Now we are talking about Masisi.
Such as Masisi, Rutshuru, even Gungu. And if they succeed in capturing them and later administer them, bring back peace, security, stability, open schools, markets open, and so on, you can no longer call them militias. They become administrators of territories. Now, when they become administrators of territories, the DRC government and the MONUSCO, the UN in DRC, will struggle to call them a militia, a terror organization, whatever other names they've been giving them. Because M23, what is M23? As I told you, M23 is fighting for a just cause, and I'm not the one who's saying this. This was said by Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, former president of Tanzania. It was said by former president of South Africa recently, Mr. Thabo Mbeki. It was Museveni, a delegation came from Kinshasa to see him in Kampala. He told them M23 is fighting a just war. Mandela said this. Who has not said this? Everybody says this. What is M23? M23 is children of Kinyarwanda speaking the DRC who live now in refugee camps. For the last 30 years, they live in refugee camps in Rwanda and in Uganda. Over 500,000 people. Now, their children who got tired of staying in refugee camps took up arms to bring back their parents. In fact, 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, before Kabila left power, M23 reached an agreement with the Kinshasa government. They signed an agreement which consisted mainly of bringing back their communities to the DRC. So M23 accepted to lay down weapons in return for the Congolese government to provide the right conditions to bring back their families. Notably, to stop collaborating with FDLR, which is founded by people who committed genocide in Rwanda, were defeated, fled, and turned against Congolese Tutsi, who now fled. Now, when M23, the DRC government, all this international community has direct interest in DRC, in natural resources. So the deal between the international community and the Congolese government is, if you want to do business with us, if you want to extract minerals here, you cannot recognize the cause of M23. In fact, you must accuse Rwandan government being behind M23. M23 has no cause, it's all Rwandan government. Now, whenever M23 conquers territories, especially Masisi, which is the next door to, between Masisi and Goma, there's only Sake remaining. It's not far from Goma. The international community fears that this is going, because when they capture territories, they administer them. There's more safety, more security, better livelihood in areas controlled by M23 than in areas controlled by the government of the DRC. Every day in Goma you hear abductions, killings, rapes, all sorts of insecurities. But when M23 conquers territories, now they force the international community to deal directly with them because they are no longer, militias.
Right, FDLR and the other militias have been there in Masisi for many years, and nobody did mention this. Why do they come when M23 are in Masisi?
Because FDLR was in those areas with the complicity of the Kinshasa-based politicians from the Kivus, sometimes, most of the time, but also even just Tshisekedi's family. For example, the Rubaya tin mine was given to, I'm told it was given to the son of the president. So you understand, FDLR was in those areas protecting interests of Kinshasa-based politicians, which was in the best interest of of Kinshasa. Now, because M23 is back there, and remember, M23 is not conquering territories. M23 is conquering their own land. It's Nyerere who defined it very well. He said, and it's a clip that is on the internet. He said, the Rwandan kingdom was partitioned between Germans and Belgians. part of the Rwandan kingdom was given to Zaire at the time, which is Congo today, and with the people and the land. Now, if you want to return the people, return the land. In fact, if you go, the proof is very simple. If you hear every territory that M23 has conquered, they have Kinyarwanda names, all of them. So this conquering of territory is going to force the international community to recognize M23 as the legitimate movement that it is, and to be able to talk with them. M23, that's all they've been asking for, but they never had leverage to be able to impose talks. And now they do, because after Masisi, that's why the international community was making noise. Today, I think now, they're closer to getting access to negotiations than before.
But they have been requested to leave Masisi, and they did not. What do you think will happen after?
Well, you see, it's Thomas Sankara who said, only the struggle frees. And in the same saying, Thomas Sankara says, the slave who expects his oppressor to free him shall have it coming, shall not expect people to pity him, because it is up to him to liberate himself. So if M23 and its families have been in refugee camps for 30 years, all these 30 years, they've been asking the same international community that is asking them to leave Masisi, could you please help us return home, for 30 years? They did not. Now that M23 has taken up arms and taken back their land, their own land, they're about to bring back their families, the same international community that failed to bring them home is asking them to leave their home. Nobody has more legitimacy to be in Masisi, Ruchuru, and Ngungu, and Sake than M23. These are children natives of that ancestral, this is their ancestral land. They have more legitimacy than Kinshasa, than New York, Paris, and London
to be there. What does it mean their struggle? When now they're in Masisi, what does it mean in their struggle now? In their struggle now,
they mean more recognition. It means although we see it as a military success, but it's also a diplomatic success. Because, M23 can stay in the bush and repel attacks of the Congolese government for years, but they still will not be recognized. The only way they can be recognized is when they take actual towns of their own, of their ancestral land, and impose themselves there, so you'll have to negotiate with them.